Blackhawks Hockey Central here. I'm Joe Vitali. That's Skokes, and we're here to recap day 2 of the NHL draft. Day 1, absolutely out of bounds, struck it out of the park. Kyle Davidson, Connor Bedard, number 1 overall, obviously, and Oliver Moore, number 19, falls into his lap. So now we're going to. I remember last episode I said that we are not going to get a goalie. The Blackhawks are not going to get a goalie. And what do they do with their first second round pick? They get a goalie. Skokes, take it away.
Yeah, man. We talked about it last video. We're probably gonna snag a goalie here in the second or third round, but what do you know that our third pick in the second round there, number 35, with the first goalie off the board, Adam Gajan. He is from Slovakia, but he currently plays in the USHL up in Green Bay, actually. So not too far.
Boo.
Right, from Chicagoland. Uh, that's it's pretty interesting, I guess. Just hey, let's play in Green Bay, I guess. But yeah, he's 19 years old. 2.57 goes against average. 91 save percentage. Pretty good, man. 6'3". The most athletic goalie in the draft. Pretty good selection. Maybe a little higher than we thought, right? Number 35.
Certainly for me, yeah.
You're right. But GMKD and head of scouting, Mike Donahue, uh, that that was their guy. Adam was their highest rated player at that time, I suppose, and they went out and got him at number 35.
Yeah, and so you definitely make mention that he's in the USHL,
Hmm.
and that's the Green Bay Gamblers, and then he's going to go to the University of Minnesota Duluth, which is cool. I like NCAA products. I like the NCAA system, and I think it's. I was listening to a podcast, and someone said that the NCAA system is a little bit better than
Hmm.
maybe even the Canadian Hockey League in the OHL, WHL, and QMJHL. So. You know what? I think they were actually specifically talking about goaltenders, if I'm being honest. So
Hmm.
he's going to get in there, 18, 19, and yeah, so he's 19, so he's going to get in there, and he's going to be playing against up to 22-year-olds, and maybe even a couple of overagers, like 23-year-olds.
Right.
So he's going to be playing against men,
Hmm.
and which like Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel, he
Hmm.
different positions obviously, but he graduated high school early so he could go to college, and he was playing with men,
Hmm.
and he got a Stanley Cup before Connor McDavid. Now, not to say that he's a better player than Connor McDavid,
Right.
but that's sort of the Connor McDavid's playing with his peers, and Jack's kind of playing with adults. But yeah, so
Hmm.
Adam Gaijan or Gaihan,
Yeah. Oh, and some
goaltender.
yeah, something from a few hours ago actually. So he's going to be returning to the USHL for 2023, 2024,
Hmm.
and then he'll be at University of Minnesota Duluth in 24-25. So he's going to go
Okay.
back for one more year. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
should be good, just to mature his game a little more, and then he'll be 1920 going into Minnesota.
yeah, it's goalies their peak is usually later, like
Mhm.
28, I want to say.
Right.
Whereas like I would say a skater, their peak is probably 25.
Mhm.
Maybe even 24.
Mhm.
Not to say that like a 27-year-old is garbage or anything, but the
Mhm.
goalies are usually they take a little bit longer to develop. So there's nothing wrong with him going and perfecting his craft for sure.
Right. And the second pick we had in round 2. So only about 10 picks later, 9 picks at number 44. We took a Russian forward, Roman Kantsarov. I wasn't too familiar with his game before uh, the draft, but after looking into some more tape, he's he's a pretty special player, man. I think he could be our steal of the draft after obviously Oliver Moore dropping a 19, but this guy is supremely skilled, man. 27 goals, 27 assists in 45 games, 54 points total. He's still 18 years old. Just super, super skilled, man. He reminds me of like a Kirill Kaprizov. Maybe not as fast, straight line, but super nifty, like behind the net, in the paint. He loves shooting down like the middle slot. Just a really, really like violent player, man. He's
Nice.
he's he's gonna be really good.
Cool. Yeah, I know I'm looking at his elite prospects page right now, and then you just look at the numbers, and it's 5'9", 176, and
Hmm.
nothing crazy there. A little undersized almost, especially with the Hawks when they were saying that there were like size, skating,
Hmm.
IQ. So you're kind of scratching your head at that. But I believe on our Twitter profile we have some tape of him in the MHL, which is the AHL to the KHL.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, we so check out our Twitter page. We got a nice highlight reel of Roman Kanserov
Hmm.
on there, so go check it out, and you'll see what we're talking about when we mean violent game, good passing, chaos seeker
Hmm.
in
Right.
the blue paint.
Right. And next pick, not too far from the previous pick. So pick 55, still in round two here. We stuck with forward. Martin Misiak. He's also Slovakian. He said he was really good friends with goalie Adam Gajan since they were 10 years old. So that's awesome to have just two people with
Nice.
chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially they're both from Slovakia, right? So
Right.
having someone to lean on while you're in a foreign country. I mean, they've been here, they've been playing hockey, they're with their billet families and whatnot.
Hmm.
They got their American friends, but having childhood buddies from that area of the world and your culture and stuff is really helpful, and the chemistry will be nice. And so,
Hmm.
they can just jump in and have some good synergy together, and they don't have to play with each other. You don't have to hammer anything out. It'll just be natural right there from the start.
Hmm. Exactly, man. He's mainly coming in for just like his versatility, just a really good skater. He's 6'2", 194 pounds, just crazy good skater for that size because that's also, I mean, that's almost NHL ready type of size at 6'2", 194. He's not a crazy point producer, right? 17 points in 27 games, 6 goals, 11 assists. At 18 years old, though, in the USHL, it's still pretty impressive for a foreign player to come over and produce like that. Uh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Smaller sheet,
Hmm.
way less time and space.
Right.
So, just getting used to that obviously is just going to be, you just roll with the punches.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Super physical player down the boards. He's going to be interesting. He's like a bigger version of like you think of Savoie, Samuel Savoie last year's
Yes.
draft. Physical player, really good skater, but just a little bigger. Yeah.
Savoy is on, is it
Uh,
Flint?
he is with Gatineau Olympiques in the
Oh,
JHL.
that's right. That's right. Savoy. Come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Get your head in the game.
Right.
French team, French player.
Yeah. Yep. They're pretty fluent there. Yeah. Gatineau. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and let's check out our third round pick, our first third round pick at 67 overall. Nick Lardis, another forward. He was still 17 actually, so super young. A crazy good goal scorer. Do you have the stats on his uh,
Yeah.
last
So
year?
so 22-23 in the OHL, he was on the Peterborough Petes for 36 games, 12 goals, 7 assists for 19 points. Nothing crazy, but then he got traded to the Hamilton Bulldogs of also the OHL. And in 33 games for them, he had 46 points. So he really, really stepped it up for the Hamilton Bulldogs. And that in the playoffs, Hamilton made the playoffs and he had 10 points in 6 games. So, um,
Hmm.
and then he was at the World Junior Championships U18s, 4 goals, 7 games played. So the kid can score. He's putting the biscuit in the basket, and
Right.
that's obviously point of the game is to score more goals than the other person. So
Hmm.
he's doing that. You love to see the goal scoring ability because
Hmm.
not everyone can do that.
Right, and he's around 5'10", 165. So super young still. He's only 17. But you saw that goal scoring touch with the Pete's, and then right, he got traded. So he obviously had an elevated role. More minutes, more shifts, and he just blew up from there. And he probably increased his draft stock a bit there. Just going off.
Yeah,
Natural goal scorer, yeah.
I'm just reading the little blurb about they got on him on Elite Prospects, and it appears that he's a winger that is really high hockey IQ. Just knows where the puck is going to be, and
Mhm,
he quickly turns that around and gets that puck on the net. So he's going to be a really good play driver,
mhm,
and he's going to give the Hawks a lot of offensive opportunities to bury him. And
right,
so and or just get an offensive zone draw and get some shots on net, get some offense going, puck possession, and win
mhm,
the game.
right. Like, obviously, he's not, super physical, but, if he could be that, like, Yanni Gord, Marcus Kruger, like, you stick him on, like, the 3rd line, but he has that shot,
Yeah,
um, that's super valuable, just for depth, just to have goal scoring, throughout the lineup.
that's how you win championship is with your depth scoring.
Mhm,
So yeah, that'll definitely prove useful.
mhm,
Just
exactly.
just think of all those old Hawks teams, 10, 13. You got your Marcus Krugers, your Michael Frolikes.
Mhm,
In 2010, it was like John Madden and Dave Boland and all those types of guys. So uh,
right, mhm,
like not going to be the physicalness of a Boland or a Madden, but
mhm. Right. Yeah. So back then, we were sort of sized like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, but GMKD for the rest of this draft, he really heard the fans. We're all saying, "Hey, we need size. We need size." Especially on offense, right? Because we have those smaller, skilled players. Reichel's a little skinnier. Uh, Bedard's little shorter. Nazar's coming in short, but he drafts for the rest of the class around 6'3" and up. Uh, so I could just go through the names here. So we had, I believe it was 4 or 5 picks just above 6'4". Like, it was insane. So at pick 93, we selected center Yuri Felkman. He's 6'4", 198. Most of these guys are just
it's a big boy.
right. They're just drafting some solid skaters, for their size. hoping that they can turn out to be that third, fourth line grinder type of player. I think that's what he's really aiming for. Also at number 99, Alex Farrand, a forward. He is also 6'2", 198. So already a pretty mature uh, hockey build. He has the physical tools. Alex Farrand, 39 points in 67 games, so he still has a bit of an offensive touch, which is nice to see in round four.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And some other, round four, just because I'm thinking of it right now,
Right.
I want to say Isaac Phillips and Ethan Del Mastro were
Hmm.
both fourth rounders.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you will see them on the Chicago Blackhawks. So,
Right.
like, like, obviously you're thinking round one, some of those players are going to be good for you. Round two, same
Hmm.
thing. Those players are going to be good for you. And then you start getting into like 3, 4, 5, and you're, well, he might be good in the AHL or
Hmm.
might be good for whatever, but not going to be this team. So
Hmm.
it's just really nice to see that, someone like a Yuri Feltman might actually make the roster if you got Isaac Phillips and Ethan Del Mastro.
Hmm. Right. Out of that fourth round. Yeah. So the most interesting name that I've seen this year, in the fifth round at pick number 131. His name is Marcel, and he is I believe, he's a left wing. But he's 6'4", man. 243 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, 6'4", 243. Marcel.
Yeah, left winger shoots left.
Right. And fun fact, I didn't even realize it when we drafted him, but he is also on the Gatineau Olympiques
With Savoie.
with Samuel Savoie, exactly. So
Wow.
there's
Nice.
another connection right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple
Hmm.
team just grabbing another team. And yeah, 52 games, 32 points. Nothing crazy, but
Hmm.
I mean, he's a plus 22. And I know plus minus is not really a statistic that a
Hmm.
lot of people take stock in. But I mean, if you're 52 games played, 32 points, plus 22, there's got to be something there. He's doing something right.
Right.
And
Uh, hmm.
13 playoff games with 8 points, also a plus 7. So
Hmm.
I like this kid a lot.
Yeah, he definitely knows his role because I believe that team this year, they were in the playoffs actually, and it seems like he plays his role perfectly because they're obviously a very talented team, but not being the most skilled player, but if he could play physical and he skates well, that's what you need for your depth positions.
Yeah, and a high plus minus like that would tell me that he's defensively sound.
Right.
So you throw him on like your third line, your third shutdown line.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure exactly who better than a 6'4", 243, responsible with the puck and can also put it in, bury it.
Hmm.
Wow, that's
Exactly.
awesome. Marcel, the guy. So named so nice, they named him twice.
Right. Um, Another big boy, second to the last pick for the Hawks. He's from Sweden at pick 167 in the sixth round. Milton Oscarsson. He's 6'6", 216, man. And here's the thing with him also, uh, Milton, right? He's 20 years old, and at this size, 6'6", 216, if
Yeah,
he could,
he might still have a half inch in him.
right? I mean, he's still young, and I might make a small prediction now, but if he can carve out a nice role. If he could impress at training camp, because he is from overseas, right? He could probably play in the AHL off the bat, I believe, because he is from the European leagues. I
He's
believe he could.
playing in the SHL right now, so he
Right.
made the jump from their the
Hmm.
J20 National,
Right.
and then he went to the SHL.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, you take it for what it's worth, but Elite Prospects has the 23-24 him still in the SHL. So
Hmm.
maybe get
Really.
a full season in the SHL
Hmm.
and just see how he's going because he's
Yeah.
not really a point producer.
Mm-mm. No. No.
Um, 45 games played in the SHL, 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists, dash eight.
Hmm.
In the J20, he was 10 games played, 10 points, point per game player. So maybe he's just a little bit more skilled, a little bit faster, a little bit more physical.
Hmm.
Um, I want to say I saw this graph, and I think the SHL,
Hmm.
while it hasn't produced the most NHLers, it has produced for how many they have the most. So like just say like there are 100 SHLers
Hmm.
that have made the NHL. There's like so many less players. Obviously, there's so many more in the CHL or the AHL and all that. So like they're weighted a lot better.
Hmm.
So you're seeing a lot of elite players, good players, come from the Swedish number one league, which I think is pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting pick, right?
Yeah,
Especially at that size. And with the final pick of the 2023 NHL draft for the Hawks, in round 7 at pick 195, um, no one knew who this kid was, man. I mean, there was no picture. Even the Hawks, I mean, the Hawks couldn't post a picture because they,
yeah.
they, they just didn't have one of
Yeah,
them.
they captioned it like, "Hey, we promise he's real. We
Right.
just don't have a picture of him." It's kind
Exactly.
of it was kind of like their last season.
Hmm.
Their seventh round pick, I believe, was also from Finland
Yep. Right.
and like 6'8",
Yep.
and like I looked up his town. It was like the town I think is like 2,000 people, and it's like a
Hmm.
water park town. So
Oh, yeah.
so it's like he's living. This kid's living in like this Finnish Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny.
And this was our only defenseman we drafted this year, Yanni Peltonen. Yeah, and he is from Finland. Yeah, 18 years old, 3 goals, 6 assists in 40 games. So he's 6'3". He shoots left, which is interesting because we're a little short on right-handed defensemen right now. But
Right.
hey, that's I guess that's what they saw from Finland. So it's interesting for the final pick there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
those Finnish defensemen, man. There's something about them.
Hmm.
Something
Yeah,
about them.
it's interesting, man. And we had a few trades actually. One before the draft even started. I was super pumped when I saw it. The Chicago Blackhawks have acquired Josh Bailey from the New York Islanders for, I think it was just like future considerations.
Yeah, our favorite future considerations.
Right. Never gets any love, man. Never. But Josh Bailey, I could have seen him carve out maybe like a third line role, maybe bump up to the second line with Reichel, help him out a little. Just have a veteran presence there. But GMKD, he said that they were just going to buy him out because they saved like 1 or 2 million if they bought him out. So that was the plan from the beginning, I suppose.
Yeah, I would have liked to see because I remember when I was doing like what what could have happened with like pre-draft trades or whatever,
Mhm.
maybe draft trades surrounding the draft. So like going up to 11 or going up
Mhm.
to 16 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, all right, so maybe the Hawks will grab Josh Bailey for a cap dump,
Mhm.
but New York doesn't. The Islanders don't really have that many picks and like that much just collateral.
Right.
They've been pretty successful the last 5 years, so I'm thinking maybe the Hawks can grab a prospect. I know they have a couple prospects playing for Bridgeport.
Mhm.
Um, And so I was, and just to get a 2026, I want to say 2026 second rounder.
Mhm.
It was, I like spreading the picks out so you get waves of talent, but
Mhm.
I thought maybe KD could have gotten a little bit more from them, but you know, but
Yeah.
ain't paying me to run the team, so that's
Mhm.
all good.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a second round pick, down the line. We'll take it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Uh, yeah. And there was one more trade, towards the end, more towards the end of the draft. So the Hawks acquired Corey Perry, from the Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe we threw them a seventh round pick. Uh,
Seventh round.
it might have been from next year, 2024 draft. But uh, GMKD said, "Hey, we like what he brings. You don't want to play against him, but you love him being on your team,
Oh, I know that's right.
right?" I mean, I definitely I was not interested in getting him, because of his history, But hey, if he's gonna join the squad for a year, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a great. He used to be a great player. I mean,
Hmm. Oh, right, yeah,
I want to say he scored 92 points one year.
yeah.
Um,
It's probably with the Ducks back then, yeah.
exactly, and he was a great player. He's an awesome like leader and stuff,
Hmm.
and veteran presence,
Yep.
and
Stanley Cup winner.
Stanley Cup champion. And I mean, lately, not definitely not a Stanley Cup champion, which I find hilarious. I
Right,
mean, he
right.
goes to the Cup final versus the Montreal Canadiens against
Hmm.
the Tampa Bay Lightning, loses. Okay, I'll go join the Lightning, loses again,
Yep.
and then just keeps losing with the Lightning. So you love to see that.
Hmm.
Um, because he is a rat, pure
Yeah,
and
man.
simple.
Uh,
But I think he's going to be great for Connor Bedard and for
mhm.
the team.
Yeah, super fun to watch. Especially on our side now. But KD threw him a contract just not too long ago, so it's just going to be the same thing as Nick Foligno. 1 year, $4 million deal, possibly flippable at the deadline. Retain 50% salary. Hey, if we could get a fifth round pick out of him, fourth round pick, if he contributes, that's great. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and with those types of contracts, you just gotta know that the term is
Hmm.
that's the main thing. So 1 year, it's going to be high money. So Nick Foligno, 1 year, 4 million. Is he worth 4 million? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think really close. I think you're probably looking like more of a 2.5, maybe two.
Hmm. Yeah.
And same thing with Corey Perry. I mean, he was doing league min down in Florida,
Hmm.
so down in Tampa Bay. So this is going to be a crazy bump for him.
Hmm.
But yeah, so amazing draft. I think overall, I'd probably give the Hawks a solid B plus,
Yeah.
A
Same.
minus,
Same. I, I I
for
agree on that. Yep.
all of it. First round, I would definitely say, I mean, if you're looking at it from what the Hawks wanted, they're
Hmm.
giving themselves A's, A pluses for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. It
Connor
was out of
Bedard,
the park, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oliver Moore falling to them was
Hmm.
just pretty lucky, but it was good.
Yep.
And I think that's going to do it for this edition of the Blackhawks Hockey Central podcast. Really great draft. Really glad to be here with you guys experiencing this Bedard season. If you want to go see Bedard, by the way, and a bunch of the other prospects, they're going to be at I want to say the White Sox game, throwing out the first pitch,
I
or is
think
it
it
the
will
Cubs?
be.
I should,
It
I
could
could
be
look
either
this up.
one. I'm not sure, but uh, Bedard and the boys will definitely be uh, at the Fifth Third Arena on Friday. So that's tomorrow uh, to start their small development camp. So there's going to be media coverage pretty much all day. It's going to be an interesting day on Friday. hmm
Awesome. Yeah, man, and go check out Fifth Third Arena.
hmm
I am biased because I used to work there, but they've got some really good stuff going on. Game day packages where you can skate, get some food, and then go to the game. And same thing, they're going to be hosting all of obviously that's the practice facility, so you can go
hmm
check them out practicing. Go check out the prospects for the little mini camp, and go Hawks.
Let's go Hawks.
Let's go Hawks.